for you? What went wrong?
Just starting off well, just collectively as a team, just getting my team going. As far as just getting everybody involved, I think that's what wasn't helping me start off well. So I think I just need to go back to the film and see what I can do better to help.
For you guys, I know crashing the glass is going to be yeah, I do. Sorry. Crashing the glass for you guys is going to be key for you guys, all five guys. Looked like tonight it was just a struggle. What's going to have to change with that?
We just gotta go once the shot goes up, find our guy and box him out before they get any closer to the rim. So we just gotta be more physical.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think was the issue with the turnovers today?
Everybody just, I think, at least for me especially, just too much in our own heads. Like if one thing wasn't working well and something bad happened, I think we were still dwelling on the past instead of having that short-term memory and continue to play. So if we get that out and just continue to play, I think we'll fix that issue.
Three of the last four games have gone somewhat like this. Are you finding that there's voices within the team stepping up and trying to stop these long slides? And kind of where is that with the team right now?
I mean, we all lean on each other. I mean, we all know that we gotta. It's a collective sport. It's a team sport. So everybody has to do their part. So we all lean on each other, figure out what we need to do better, and just move forward from there.
Did the 11 days off have anything to do with your performance today?
No, sir. No, not at all. Just like I said earlier, just the start. We just gotta start off well. I mean, we just gotta be ready from an hour before game when we start warming up. Just like coach has been harping on us. Like we start practicing, that's when the game's starting. Every day before leading up to the game is we're getting ready for the game. So we gotta be ready at practice first before we step on the court.
AJ, I was wondering what coach said to you guys after the game, Coach Scott.
Just gotta on to the next one. We all gotta watch the film. We know what we made. We made mistakes while out there. We just gotta match their energy as well. I mean, Utah State's a really good team. We just gotta be able to match their energy and exceed it as well.
Yeah, how much does it help knowing that last time you played a series, you lost the first one big, came back and won the second one? As you go into tomorrow's practice, having that experience, what does that mean?
I mean, it's opportunity to get just kind of return the favor what they did to us. So it's a quick turnaround, which I think we all enjoy as far as just competing wise. We don't have to wait a couple weeks this next time to see them. So we're gonna go watch film, see what we need to do, and then go on from there.
And when you did that against Nevada, how
Follow up,
much?
Brent?
Yeah, how much did you implement what had just happened when you practiced that day between the Nevada games? Like, was it practice as normal, or was it a lot of specific plays that did or did not work?
A lot of, I guess, a little bit of both. I mean, practice is normal. We know what we need to do, what we got to work on to get better, just collectively as a team. But then also like what didn't work well in the game. So we know we got minor tweaks that we got to fix, but nothing major. It's just on ourselves to improve.
During the game, I noticed that two things defensively. They got a lot of second chances on boards, weak side rebounding, and also they just had a lot of open looks, even when there wasn't penetration. Was that a communication issue?
Yeah, just our defense. We weren't getting back in transition quick enough, and then just being more active on defense. Just like I said, just high energy, active, hands out. So, I mean, we need to definitely bring that to the next game. And I mean, we'll see it on film. The things we didn't do right.
I'm guessing this is a game you're going to probably want to leave in 2020 and reset for 2021. Yeah, yes, exactly. For that, though, today the biggest issue I saw was turnovers. What kind of went wrong, especially in the offensive zone for you guys?
Well, first, you got to give Utah State credit. I mean, they're a very good team. They were ready to play. I mean, I think obviously coming off us winning on the road at Nevada, they're coming in here knowing they have to play well, and they did. So you got to give them credit for playing well. To your point, I know, like I told our guys, they didn't press us once, they didn't trap us once. So those turnovers, and to a large extent, self-inflicted turnovers a little bit. I mean, their game plan is, be physical with us, be physical, try to take us out of, our motion, our movement, and, we have to get better at fighting that. We got to get better at being more physical than them. And if we don't, I think it sort of turns us into more individuals. And, I know Utah State will take their chances with us playing that way. And, I think it led to some turnovers, obviously, and those turnovers led, the worst part about them today were leading to points for them, whether that was layups, whether that was, threes. And again, you got to give them credit for that. I know we're going to look at the film and look to the areas where we're not executing the way that we know we're capable of executing. And in order for us to play Utah State when they're playing the way they are and compete with them to win a game, we certainly have to be better in that area. There's no question we have to get better when it comes to executing against a team that's really geared up to guard us.
We were talking to AJ earlier, Coach, and he said, it kind of had a snowball effect today. One error led to another, and we couldn't just let our errors go in this game. Did you notice that with the guys, especially in the media timeouts and at halftime?
I think, generally we didn't play well. I thought we got ourselves out of it one time, at 30-20, and we were okay. But again, against a team like Utah State, to your question and AJ's point, we have to stay sort of consistent every 4 minutes. We got to stay consistent in what our approach is every 4 minutes, and that's irrespective of, of the score. It's really, we got to stay consistent in what's our focus and how we're playing on both ends of the court. And, we obviously need, AJ and Chris and Keaton to play well, and be sort of leading us in that area. And, I think those three guys just going to have to continue to learn as we go through this. These other teams, they're going to be gearing up to guard A.J. Walker. They're going to be gearing up to guard Chris Joyce. And, we have to learn from that and learn collectively what's our response going to be to that, and to his point, we let it get away from us. But again, I'll say, that's a really good team out there that we played today. That's won 20, who knows how many games every year the last 2-3 years. And that's what we have to learn from this. That's who we're playing. How are we going to compete with them? And like I said, we go on the road and beat Nevada. They know that. They're coming in here ready to play and make sure that they have to play well, Utah State. And they played really well today. And, we didn't match their level of play.
Yeah, I know you've talked about toughness and competing. Were you disappointed, I guess, when you talk about these things? It kind of seems to go back to those points. Were you disappointed in what you saw in that respect?
Yeah, I think I was just disappointed is the right word. And as we led up into this game, in practice, the words that I was using when it came to our offense, was harder, faster, tougher, stronger in how we go about anything we do offensively, because I have a sense of what I know these other teams in this league are going to be trying to do to us. And our response has to be harder, tougher, stronger, faster, no matter what it is we're doing, no matter what new thing we might put in, because that's what these teams are going to do. And I don't think, I'm hopeful that now those words as it relates to our offense, in terms of playing against the Utah States, it's going to be Boise State next. Does this game show us what that means and how we got to execute? We'll look at the film that way to back that up, and we'll move on from there and grow in those areas, because I think if we play that way, A.J. Walker's going to play well. Chris Joyce is going to play well. Keaton's going to play well. There's got to be a consistency to that. That's really what it is. What areas can we be consistent in? And I think that's an area that we can get to be consistent in that area. And when we do, that's when we'll be playing our best. And, obviously Utah State showed us that today.
Speaking of Chris, was something going on early in the second half to prompt the change?
Well, I just saw, for me personally, I just saw a ball loose. We had it was early in the second half where there was a loose ball. We got a deflection, and it went right there, near him, whatever I saw at the time, and I just didn't see that. To your last question, we got to get that ball. That's the game right there. The game is us getting that ball. And, Chris has played really well. Like I told the guys after the game, these guys have done everything I've asked them to do. They really have. That's why we've improved. But when you're in a season and you get into league season and you run into these types of situations, and it's going to be, what's our response? What's Chris's response going to be? And I'm confident he's going to respond the right way, and I'm confident all the guys are, because they've done nothing but do that from day one. So as we go through this league season, there are going to be games that, all of them, but certain ones where we really got to learn from them. And, today was definitely going to be one of them, and we'll see how we respond to that.
Coach, talk about responding. When you were blown out at Nevada, you guys had a day off, then came back and beat Nevada on their home floor. Can you take anything out of what you did on that road trip and maybe that practice in between those games and try to use it tomorrow and then into Saturday?
Yeah, I think so. I think what I think these series, they're different. So this is our second one. I can't say that, tomorrow will be exactly like, say, what it was at Nevada, but I know what we have to do, and I know what our players know. What we're going to do is, we're going to take stock of exactly what we see. That's what I talked to them about after the Nevada game. Here, we're going to see what happened, and we're going to, look at it through the lens of what are the things that are important to us, what are the things that make us play well, and those areas where we see that that's not happening, we're going to attack that area, and obviously part of it's going to be, it's both ends of the court. We got to figure out what to do offensively about those turnovers. There's no question about that. Our execution, what can we do better? And then just as important, we got to figure out, watching what they did, what we can do better defensively. But we already know that they got 45 points, off those 26 turnovers, I think. So that's a great place to start right there for us to get better come Saturday against Utah State. But we also have to make sure defensively there's a greater intensity level and there's more force to how we're playing against whatever it is that they're trying to do.
When your leading rebounder is AJ, is that alarming to your big men and say, guys, what's going on? Like, how do you change that? Because I know height is not like the biggest thing you guys have, but again, what's got to happen there?
Yeah, I think if you look at this game, and I could look at the stat sheet, but you probably know it already, is, we got 45 points for Utah State off of turnovers, and how many second chance points did they have? Does anybody know that? I know the kid Bean, they had 16 points. They had 10 at halftime.
Give me a second.
16 points. So, you look there, that's 61 of their points right there. And you could see it right off the bat. I think 34 Bean was in there, running in there, getting offensive rebounds. Now, I know our guy. We know that's our challenge every game. And, we didn't meet that challenge, today. And when we don't, you'll see a guard leading us in rebound. There's nothing wrong with having AJ, get 5-6 rebounds. We need our guards to rebound. But there's no question that today, when it came to sort of that battle, on the boards, that fight that we're going to have every game, it wasn't there. So it doesn't matter if it's Utah State, Boise, every team in this league, to your point, is going to say, they have a height advantage. And, okay, well, we have to be good on offense. We got to take care of that ball to negate it. We got to, if we do that, our defense will be set more. We'll be better at guarding them, making them work, and then we're in better rebounding position. In the grand scheme of things today, we probably weren't good. We're not good in any of those areas, and it leads to, them sort of doing what they wanted on the board. So those are two areas of main concern coming out of this game.
Coach, AJ alluded to the fact that maybe you guys didn't have the energy and didn't match their energy. Is that what you saw today?
Yeah, again, I'll say the same thing. You have to give Utah State credit. They came in here ready to play. They're a good team. They knew, I think, they had to be, ready to go to beat us here at Air Force. And they were much better at that than we were today. So, I know I got to make sure that we look at that film from our own standpoint. I already talked to my staff about, okay, what are we going to do as a staff a little differently to negate some of those things that, we've talked about here. I got to make sure I'm doing a good job of that to help our players, and most importantly, to make sure that our guys are, we're improving, that we improve tomorrow, and that shows up on Saturday. That's really what we got to do. And if that's energy, and those words oftentimes come from, whether or not you are executing, whether or not you are playing good transition defense, whether or not you are battling on the boards, that's all those things produce great energy, so we really got to, like I said, we got to focus on those things, and I got to make sure we're doing things offensively that are going to help us in that area, and I got to make sure we're doing things defensively to help us in that area.
And I'm curious, the weak side rebounding for them, getting those second chances. Was some of that defensively and a lot of open looks, was that just a communication issue?
I think the way we play, in terms of how connected our offense is to our defense, it's something we have to get better at, that if our offense isn't, clicking as well, we still have to have the resolve and the, whether it's the energy or the communication or whatever that is, we still have to have the resolve to do those things down the defensive end. And obviously, playing against a really good team, that makes that challenge harder. And I think that showed up today. And, like you said, Bean immediately was, but that's his game. We knew coming into this game that the kid Bean, his game is energy, his game is motor, his game is offensive rebound. He gets 3 a game. He might get 4 a game. He's one of the best in the country at it. And, he beat us at that today. So that's what we have to take out of this. That, okay, he can't, they beat us. He's got to beat us some other way. And, but that definitely was part of it. Like, they get 61 of their points in those areas. Give them credit, but we got to, coaching wise, I got to look at it to help us get better, and our players got to look at it to see, dig inside themselves so that we're ready to go Saturday to show a completely different Air Force team.